These are the steps that are followed for a successful payment towards the receiver. Now, when I head back to my core banking service, I can notice that in the Rafiki webhook section, a webhook, two webhooks are actually received. One is the incoming payment completed. You can verify from the time if that's visible on the screen. So the idea is when incoming payment completed is received with the right metadata and the send amount, a pending payment is formed. Since the AML is yet to be done, the pending payment I can see right now is this and marked as pending. There's one little thing that should also be mentioned right here is if we notice closely in this account that we just made an RF's account, we notice there are discrepancies between the current balance and the available balance. That is because the payment is yet to be published or approved. So we'll head back on the AML CFT screen where we can clearly see that this payment, which was just received, is available for review. And there are obviously two options that I can go and just directly approve it. This way, I can assume that this payment will be approved from the pending state. And not only that, now that the balance will be equal for the fact that the payment that was pending is now a part of current balance. As well as when I head back on my internet banking, I can see the new balance being loaded and the transaction. Now, I think it's also worth mentioning that if I head back to my diagram that we just created, there's a middleware, what we may call an Open Connect. So all these requests that we just made are only feasible via this channel, and the channel has this intermediary in between them, which is our Open Connect middleware. So this is it. I think I have covered all the section, but if one thing I haven't mentioned.
Okay. I hope like this video was self-explanatory, but I'll just touch upon a few points which were important. So you saw like we ran through the whole flow, but what was important is that when we start creating the wallet initially from the receiver side, at that point it's important that we attach some metadata to the wallet, which is required for sending the for the sender side to do the screening. Because what happens is on the sending side, there are a few things which are very important. First of all, it is verification of pay, which is now becoming a standard. Again, like back in Pakistan, when we started interbank fund transfer in 2005, we enabled that. We realized that, you know, if someone is sending money and they just know an account number, they could easily mistype it and misdirected payments would happen. And then the whole recourse mechanism to get them back is quite cumbersome. So it's very important that if we are creating large number of wallet addresses, because people can mistype things, so while creating the wallet address, we have attached some metadata to it. Now we see that in the APIs which are given by ILP, the Rafiki instance, the create wallet has got that option, but standardization of that, like when we are using it for remittance, is important because most of the financial institutions follow a certain way to do the screening. So what information we need to attach to it, that is something which needs to be worked upon. But certainly there is a way to do it. So if that information is there, we have tested that the other party, when they get the wallet information, using the address, they can get that metadata. and they can use it for doing the sender side screening before they initiate the payment. Similarly, on the receiver side, it's important that the sender sends the metadata about the customer who is sending the transfer, because by law, we cannot credit the account. Now, what everyone knows is like the webhooks, which are part of the ILP payment, they do not wait for the receiver to give an acknowledgement or confirmation before the payment is settled across the nodes. So what we have done is like we keep the payment as hold, as the demo was showing that it has a manual step, but it won't be a manual step in production. It would be like an orchestration that it does the automatically screening, and if a screening succeeds, then process the payment. If it does not, then return the payment. So the sender can receive back the money, and because it has already settled, so it has to be settled in the reverse direction. So with this, what we have been able to achieve is that at least from a technical standpoint, the bank's systems are ready, and this was done in a manner that what was important, that the core banking system or the screening system, the existing ones, they do not need to change. So the middleware incorporates all this logic and integration with Rafiki instance APIs. Going forward, obviously, the next step is to understand that, how we can take this into production, how like the settlement partners can, in real world, can connect into this network. So that is something which we are further studying and working on. So hopefully in next few months, that's what we will contribute. So our work is on the, like the interim report was published. So it's available on the community link, and I'll be available in the today and tomorrow, so you can contact for further collaboration. Thank you.
Just like sending a text. When Interledger asked us to imagine the internet of opportunity, what a wonderful thing to hear. We focused on one question: how do we make payments easier, cheaper, and faster while building trust? Our answer is to start inside marketplaces. Sharetribe is the third leading marketplace platform globally and empowers entrepreneurs by making it very easy for them to start their marketplaces. Yet, sellers in these emerging, and buyers and founders in these emerging markets still face high fees, slow settlement, and limited currency. In fact, the CEO of Sharetribe shares that on a daily basis, he receives multiple requests in these emerging countries. How can I get payments working on this platform? This is perfect for me, but it just can't work with the payments that are currently available. So BessPay unlocks own payments inside marketplaces for the global south. A little bit about BessPay. So we're a Jamaican-based fintech. We're incorporated in September of 2022, and we're backed by the ILF Digital Financial Services 2024 cohort. We're a bold, agile, and collaborative team across payments and marketplace engineering. We have support from the Sharetribe development expert Journey Horizon, as well as Sharetribe, and we turn complex cross-border payments into instant local currency experiences that MSMEs can trust. Our development will be in 3 phases. Phase 1, which we're currently in, we've implemented own payments inside Sharetribe and tested it on our GSpend marketplace environment, which provides instant, low-cost, and low-currency payments for sellers and buyers across the global south. And that's what we will demo today, later in the presentation. For phase 2, we're going to productize and scale. So we're turning this initial plugin into a ready-to-deploy Sharetribe mobile-ready template that can be used by any marketplace founder across the global south. So our vision, we see hundreds of founders across the 160 emerging countries in the global south, connecting thousands of buyers, sellers, and founders in their home, export, and diaspora markets. In phase 3, we're launching escrow as a service. This is our programmable trust layer introduction to the Interledger network. This will enable trust-based transactions, such as refunds, milestone releases, conditional remittances. Say, for example, they want to do a remittance and the receiving party can use that funds for a specific purpose only. Cross-border trade, crowdfunding, and other conditional payment options through an API, so trust becomes programmable. So you've heard the why, and now the how. The BessPay plugin brings own payments to life in real marketplaces for owners, sellers, and buyers. Key to know, it's instant, it's interoperable, thanks to the Interledger network. So under the hood, just a light overview, just to get a general understanding of how it flows. We use Next.js in our tech stack for the plugin. It acts as the own payments client on Sharetribe. It connects to any Interledger-enabled wallet, whether that's Chi Money in Canada, Africa, and the other countries that Chi Money is licensed to issue its wallets in, GitHub in Europe, or any enabled wallet, Interledger wallet, as they come online through simple REST APIs. So we issue secure, compliant payment instructions while the wallets handle settlement into their respective markets. So imagine if a second user, a buyer using their Chi Money wallet in Africa is purchasing a product from someone using their Interledger wallet in Mexico and being able to transact instantly. So Darnell and I will show you this now step by step. The first is the marketplace owner onboarding. So the marketplace owner is the founder, the entrepreneur. As a marketplace owner, you connect your preferred Interledger wallet in the BessPay dashboard. You set your fees and splits. You can verify all connectivity needs, and you're ready to onboard sellers immediately. And Darnell is going to walk you through this process.
Hi, thank you, Douglas. Good morning again, everyone. Well, afternoon, I should say. My name is Darnell Garcia, and I'll be going through what we've been working at on BessPay, with that being the BessPay plugin. So one of our first features or offers of the BessPay plugin would be the marketplace owner dashboard, as Douglas has rightfully mentioned. So we got a little video just in case of any internet issues here. So, yeah, sure. So the marketplace owner dashboard allows the marketplace to be a centralized hub for where they can view all transaction and financial history of their marketplace, as well as be able to integrate with the BessPay service. So here, the marketplace owner is going through the first step, creating their account on the marketplace. And they gotta just verify security. After this, the marketplace owner will be redirected to the first onboarding step, which is configuring their marketplace. Here is where they'll add their marketplace details of the associated marketplace that they want to use on our service, so that being the marketplace's name, the email, or the external marketplace ID, a unique identifier for that marketplace, so that we can track as well. They also have the option to set up fee configuration. This fee configuration will be applied to every single transaction that happens on the marketplace, and allows for the marketplace owner to get a cut of every single transaction that happens. So there's a fee percentage, the min amount, and then the max amount. Next step will be them adding their payment details. So here, in this example, the marketplace owner already has an existing marketplace, an existing ASC wallet that they would want to use. However, if they did not have one, we allow for a bit of an easier way for them to find out about the Interledger standard as well as the ASC wallets by allowing them to select a country that they might want to transact in, and it auto-selects from the list of existing ASC wallets and would allow them to go to that account, to that ASC, create their account, and come back to us. After that, the marketplace owner has completed their onboarding. Now, they can continue with the steps to integrate their marketplace with the BessPay service. So in the marketplace owner dashboard, we have a few screens that allow for the marketplace owner to do a lot of configurations, but the main steps that they would be looking for, or the main screens, would be the marketplace settings screens, where they can verify their marketplace details. The fees and commissions screen, where they can verify the service fee that they would have added, as well as the min fee amount and the max fee amount, and whether they wanted to update it or change it. And the payment integration screen, where they can view the wallet address that they would have associated during onboarding, as well as per the Open Payment standard, associate their ASC wallet API key that will verify every single transaction that happens on the marketplace. And finally, they can create a marketplace owner or a marketplace API key. This will allow for us to verify and validate every single transaction or every single request that comes from their marketplace onto our system. And if they do have any questions, we allow for an in-depth documentation section where they can go through every single step in more detail.
Thank you, Darnell. So that was for the marketplace owner. Now we'll move on to the sellers on the platform, their onboarding process. And for the sellers, the experience is even simpler. Sellers sign up directly to their marketplace. Let's say our founder launches a marketplace to connect moms to help us as they go through the process of maternity leave, where the founders know their markets. They're able to develop, they know the seller and buyer dynamics in their markets, and they're able to launch viable platforms that we'll be helping them with as well. So a seller connects their preferred ILP-enabled wallet, and then they can begin selling to buyers. So Darnell will walk us through this.
Thanks again, Douglas. So here, the marketplace has the availability for our sellers to onboard. So on the first step would be the seller would then associate any sort of account information that they want when creating their account. So their name, password, or the country that they're going to be transacting from. And similar to the marketplace owner onboarding, we aim for a streamlined process within this entire system. So the seller would also be able to add their existing ILF-enabled wallet if they already have one, or they would have a similar experience to the marketplace owner where they would be able to see existing ASCs within the country that they would have selected. In this case, the seller already has an existing wallet that they're going to use. The final step would be a BessPay-enabled KYC service, allowing for marketplace owners to have a bit more security when onboarding sellers or merchants, and allowing for the process to be even easier. And well, just like that, a seller has been onboarded. Now they can verify their account information by going to the Accounts Settings tab and be able to verify the payout details, which would have been the wallet address that they would have used during their onboarding. After verifying this information, they can start creating their first listing. Creating a listing is pretty simple, a few-step process. And after they've created their first listing, it will be shown on the listing catalog, waiting for their first customer.
Thanks, Darnell. So now we're going to go through a live part of the presentation where we're going to show the buyer checkout process, and Darnell is going to walk us through that.
All right, thanks. So, yeah, sure. So let's hope that the demo gods are with us and that the Wi-Fi works. If not, then we also have a pre-recorded demo for this as well. So we're going to assume that I'm a buyer who went through the onboarding steps and similarly would have created their account and would have associated their wallet to the marketplace. So I'm a buyer, and let's say I want to buy a book on this marketplace, for example. And this marketplace is a BessPay enabled, BessPay Plugin enabled marketplace. So I'm going to look at Window Beside the River. Seems like an interesting book. Small riverside town slowly fading from the map. Okay. Want to get one copy. It's $9.99. I'll get that. And I can verify that my wallet address is here, that one that I would have used during onboarding. And I'm just going to add any sort of a little bit more, any sort of information that I would have, and I would need to do this. So let's say I'm from BessPay Street. Postal code doesn't exist. Let's say I'm from Redmond in Washington, for example. And I am from the United States. Right. Now I'm just going to confirm $9.99, and I place the order. After placing the order, now I will have to confirm that this is the actual amount that I want to send, so it's $9.99. Everything seems good to me. I'm going to accept the payment. And just like that, I've made a transaction, and I should be waiting for my book within no time.
Excellent, interoperable and instant. All right, so now we're going to look at split payments, a key feature of the Open Payments platform. So, next slide. No. Oh, next slide. Right, so as you can see here, the split payments in action, where it allows the platform to automatically split the transaction into 2 or more payments. In the case of the marketplace, there's the seller and the marketplace owner that needs to get a payment. This is usually done programmably. This is usually done through an application or some other form of logic. With the power of Open Payments, this can be done instantly. And this is what was set up earlier in the marketplace owner dashboard. For this marketplace, the seller, there's a 97% split to the seller and a 3% split to the marketplace owner. So Darnell will demonstrate this now.
Yep. So now I'm going to go on to my wallet address as the, let's say as the buyer, and I will be able to confirm that this transaction did happen. And through the Open Payment Standard, there's a lot of transparency. So I will see that there was a $9.96 transaction going to Darnell Doe, the merchant in this case, and then John Doe, the owner of the marketplace, would have gotten a 30-cent fee cut, basically, which would allow for the 97 to 3% split, which would have been set up during the onboarding step of the marketplace. All right.
Right, so now we move to the next part of the demo, which is transaction history and transparency, which is key for founders, for everyone in the process. So we'll look at how we can move to the next slide. Thanks. So the marketplace owner has the BessPay dashboard to view a full review of all their transactions, marketplace analytics, and tools that they can use to become financially viable businesses. Financial institutions can use this information to be able to offer them credit, and for them to enter traditional financial services. For the buyer and the seller, you saw a piece in the wallet. This information is also available on the marketplace and in their wallet, the source of truth. So Darnell is going to demonstrate the transaction history to us and the other analytics in the platform.
Yeah, sure. So if I go here and I refresh the marketplace dashboard for the owner, I would be able to see that a transaction did occur. And it was of the total amount of $9.99. It went from customer Darnell account to the merchant, and I would see that it was completed, and the marketplace fee percentage would have been 30% that went, 3% or 30 cents that would have went to me, in this case, being the marketplace owner. I can also do more analytics and look at all the analytics that would have happened. So this marketplace looks like it's been doing pretty good. Some good volume, marketplace fee, so I would see how much I would have made. And I would have seen the list of not only the recent transactions, but also who are the top merchants on this marketplace as well. And we have even more analytics that we can add going into it. We can see the rate of successful transactions, rate of failed transactions, the average processing time being 30 seconds, pretty fast, I can say. And financial reporting as well, if a user wanted to then take this information from any sort of given period and export it to any sort of file format they want to use for anything later on. And for final confirmation to show that it did happen, I can go to my wallet, which is the marketplace owner's wallet, and see that, yeah, I did get 30 cents. All happened due to the Interledger Foundation and Open Payment Standard.
Yes, so that's the complete flow, everybody.
I hear Open Payments and I'm happy, so that's why.
Thank you very much. So what's next for BessPay? So supported by new financing and investor partnerships, we are to deliver the BessPay template that we mentioned earlier. This allows any founder across the Global South to implement this on the Sharetribe platform. We'll be implementing MSME enablement services to help new founders and existing founders have the support, all the support, whether that's marketing support, market analysis support, funding, access to funding opportunities support for them to get their marketplaces up and running or to migrate their existing marketplaces. Next, we're moving on to feature expansion in the following year to enable ILF-enabled wallets in regions that don't have them yet. And lastly is escrow as a service to enable these trust-based transactions that we spoke about that would provide any marketplace possible to be enabled on the Interledger network. We have a few minutes. We don't? Okay. Well, guys, we're going to be at the showcase later.
Tonight, yes.
So feel free to come by our booth and ask us any questions. We really look forward to speaking with you.
They will be around here all the days, hopefully. And you can also approach, you will be around so they can approach you to ask questions at any time.
Yes. Just myself, Douglas, or Darnell, whichever one of us stop us. Thank you for the time. A heartfelt thank you to the Interledger program and technical teams throughout this process. They've been here for every step of the way, especially in Jamaica at the onset and after the catastrophic Hurricane Melissa. The check-ins meant a lot, and we're proud to keep building as the Interledger ecosystem grows from strength to strength. BessPay is open for business as of 2026, and if you're a marketplace founder or partner, we'd love to pilot the BessPay plugin with you. Let's build the internet of opportunity together. And if you're an investor, we'd love to start the conversation as well. Thank you very much.
I will let the next speaker come and set him up. I think it's a good moment to remind that we do have an open session tomorrow. So if, like the security part that they mentioned here, is something that interests you, you can always propose it as a topic for the open payments, open mic that happens tomorrow. I posted already on Slack the form, and outside you will find 2-3 flip charts where you can post this, exactly this. I want to hear more from BessPay people, and hopefully they will join again to share more. If there is anything like, okay, you have SDKs, what are the open payments SDKs that are available, or how am I building a new one? That might be also one of the topics. I have a few too, so don't let me speak all of them tomorrow. I think you hear me now speaking, so propose something new, and we'll find the speakers, both internally or if you want to present yourself too. We're ready to go? Almost. Of course, internet is today's, its own spirit here in the room. We did change it, new devices around, we should work better, hopefully. Un momento, 1 minute. Just check, if not, I'm going to give you also my hotspot. Should work, they say. Oh! I think we can do it. miPlata con Miguel Alecio.
Hello. Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Miguel Alecio. I'm the founder and CEO of miPlata. So I think I'm the second to last one before lunch, so I'll try to work through it pretty quick. But this is meant to be interactive, so if you have any questions or anything, always welcome them. So let me start from the beginning. So miPlata at its core is really meant to help business owners in the US as well as their employees. And so the way that we have positioned ourselves is creating payroll that actually reaches home. And so today, whether you're American or not, I'm going to walk you through what a day in the life looks like for a lot of the business owners that we support, as well as their employees. And so what it actually looks like for them on a day-to-day basis, and the solution we've built meant to try to help. And so at the core, one thing you remember, what we do is we try to help from hours worked all the way to money home. And so we'll go through that step by step. So many times when I'm presenting, I get asked the question, well, why is this actually a problem? Is this real that most people have bank accounts? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, especially in the US. It's not evenly distributed. Specifically in the Latino community, there's about a 10% unbanked rate, which means these individuals have access to no bank accounts. And so when they get paid on a week-to-week basis, it's either through a physical check, so someone's handing you a check that you then have to cash, or it's through cash. The second part of this that makes it difficult is a lot of these individuals working support families in other countries. And so not only are they getting paid and they're having to figure out what to do with this check that I've just been given, but how do I actually make this get home to my family who needs it for school uniforms, for healthcare, for whatever else that they might need. And it's not a small amount of money. Last year it was $120 billion that got sent from the US into LATAM. And about 50%, and this is a stat specifically for Mexico that we wanted to highlight, about 50% of the public is still unbanked, which means most of these transactions happen in what's called a cash-to-cash transaction. What do I mean by cash-to-cash? It means someone walks into a store in the US, hands someone a couple $100 bills, and then on the other end, someone here picks it up in an OXXO, a 7-Eleven, kind of finishing the transaction in that way. And so what we've built, or what we've tried to build, is a way to actually try to digitize this. So the key insight that we established, that we focused our entire business model on, is that financial access actually starts at payday. So if you're an employer and you're working to hand your employees money, that's like the perfect opportunity for us to be able to digitize that transaction. And so we've built our entire business model around this. So where did this insight come from? I'll tell you a little bit about myself now. This came from like a personality, like growing up. My dad was an immigrant to the US. I acted as a translator, whether it was at the doctor's office, DMV, but I have very specific memories of where I'd have to translate for him at a bank. He didn't speak English, and so every time he had a dispute, even though I was a 9-year-old, I was the one having to argue the dispute with my dad, or with the bank teller. My mother has always been a bookkeeper for a lot of these Latino business owners, and so I saw this like week to week, where you have these employers that are trying to pay their employees. And unfortunately, it's still happening today. Even in the height of COVID, my mother was having to go to the office to print the physical checks. And the way she explained it to me was, if I didn't do it, these individuals wouldn't get paid. From a professional perspective, I've worked most of my career with very large enterprise businesses. And I know that a lot of these problems have been solved through the technology available. It just wasn't evenly distributed. And so what we decided to do with Plata was, how do we actually reach these individuals with the modern technology that exists today? But build it for small and medium businesses that are the most employing kind of these immigrant populations that need to send this money internationally. Okay, so the first quiz of the day. We're going to go through a typical payroll or payday for these business owners. If you had to guess, well, I'll start a little narrative first, and then I'll ask the question. So this is Miguel. We'll use a name because I'm not that creative. He works for the Senora Olga. She's a very successful business owner. She generates about $2 million a year in sales. And so I'll ask the question, how many steps and how much time do you think it takes her on a weekly basis to actually pay her staff? Those are two questions. First one, how many steps? The second one is how long? Okay, more than two, I can tell you that. Okay, 5 steps. Okay, it's closer. It's less than 10, more than 5 and 2. So we'll start there. So the first step she has to do, she actually has to collect the hours. And so this is a real piece of paper from one of our real clients. She's manually writing down every hour every person's worked. She then texts it over to the new character, Maylene. She's a real person. She's a real bookkeeper. And what she does is she then goes through a lot of back and forth to confirm, 1, the hours she wrote down are correct. 2, did Miguel incur any expenses? Do we need to account for that? Are there any taxes we need to withhold? Anything we need to do? That then gets inputted into Excel, then gets put into QuickBooks or whatever payroll system exists, then gets printed as a check. Senora Olga then has to pick up the check, deliver it, and then finally, Miguel gets his paycheck. All in all, we find that employers are paying upwards of $20,000 a year and about 5 hours a week, or roughly 240 hours a year, and actually being able just to pay their employees. A lot of the questions we get is like, well, if this was so bad and the system were so broken, wouldn't Miguel just go open a bank account? Unfortunately, that's not as easy. The hours that Miguel works, unfortunately, have like a 1-to-1 overlap with when banks are open. And so when they think about, hey, why doesn't Miguel just take time off to go do this? Well, at that point, he's making a decision, right? Do I save some time, or do I kind of reduce the number of hours of work I've worked, reduce the pay I have, in hopes that someone there speaks Spanish or speaks the language that I speak to be able to actually open the account that I need to open? Unfortunately, that's a significant barrier for a lot of these folks, and they decide, hey, the current system works, I'm just going to continue to kind of operate in this way. And so now I'll show you, we started with the day in the life for the employer. What does this actually look like for the employee? So Miguel's received his pay. What happens next? He has to go drive to cash the check. Depending on the state, some of them are more or less friendly for these type of things. So they have protections, some of them have no protections. And so we notice a wide range in terms of what it actually costs to cash these checks. Miguel then has to go and actually support his family, and so he'll send some amount of his paycheck, between 30 and 50%, abroad. And then finally, the family member has to go and pick up this money. Again, just another kind of time and cost investment in order to help facilitate this transaction. So how do we simplify this process? We've identified it's broken. We understand that there's a simpler and faster way. So what does that actually look like? So first product we've built is called Plata Time. So this is a solution that employers can deliver to their employees where they actually track their hours, and I'll show you a demo of what that looks like. But what this does is it simplifies all of that manual pencil and paper processing. It gives the employers better visibility into the hours actually worked. We then have direct integrations into the majority of the payroll processors in the US, which means there's no more manual data entry, putting the hours into the system, or having to calculate any of this. We do it automatically for the business owners. And then what does Miguel get out of this? Well, there's really 2 things that we've created. The first is a really simple way for Miguel to send this money to his family directly from his payroll. So in the same way in the US, you're able to split your pay and say, hey, send 10% to Bank of America, 90% to Chase. We're able to say, hey, send $250 to Mexico, and the remaining $750, please send to my account. And where does that remaining $750 go? That actually goes into our our FDIC insured bank account that we create for these individuals. And what used to take upwards of 2 hours for Miguel is now taking 2 minutes, which is, again, we'll show you how quick and easy it is for us to do this. So I'll go over, again, just the products before I demo them. But the first is Plata Time. How do we actually capture the hours Miguel worked? Where did he work those hours? And then how do we integrate that directly into the payroll systems? The second is called miPlata Transfer. This is really how do we make it easy for Miguel to send a portion of his pay to his family member. And then the third is for operating in the US. We offer a Visa debit card where Miguel is able to actually make transactions and exist on like a day-to-day basis in the modern kind of like financial ecosystem. Okay, so now the cool part and the part that is going to be most technically challenging. So this is live, so the demo gods again, please look kindly upon us. So the first is miPlata time. Again, this is our time and attendance app. I've already put in like effectively like a notional time shift. So I've worked from 10:35 to 12:12. When I'm ready to start my next shift, I'm able to click one button and it starts tracking my time, myself as an individual. I can also go see the historical times that I have. I've only created one for the demo, but I'm able to actually track this historically. Key part of our design philosophy is make it as simple as humanly possible. We found things that are obvious to us may not be obvious to other folks if this is the first time using a tech like this. So kind of the color design changes, some of like the counters, things that again may seem a little bit redundant or overdone. For us, we found that it's just required in order to drive adoption. So once I'm able to see my historical shifts, I'm also able to see my historical pay. So I'm able to go through and figure out, well, how much have I been paid? What are the taxes associated? And this is where that integration that we talked about earlier, where how do we actually send this money to my family member in Mexico or in Central America or in South America? So in this way, I know roughly I have $1,000 that's going to come as part of my next paycheck. I can go through and decide how much of that I want to send to my family member. I then, and this is where it may take a second because of the internet, but we'll see. We then calculate in real time what's the currency exchange rate for us to be able to send those funds. I'm able to kind of go through, well, once that calculates, we do charge like a fee associated, basically due to the service that we have. And once we have the exchange rate, we showcase one more thing to the employee, which is who do we want to pick. Loreto is an employee that's in the stands today, but we can go through. We then show them exactly what's happening. So of your entire paycheck, we're going to send a portion of this. We're able to show them exactly how much is going to be deducted from that paycheck, including the fees. We're able to show them who's actually receiving the funds. And then if I hit enviar dinero, money will be sent to Loreto. So we're not going to do that right now until the next one. And so that is effectively the first two in terms of plata time as well as plata transfer. Again, we've tried to make this as simple as possible for the individual. But the idea is how do we make it so that it's programmatic, automatic, faster, cheaper, safer for these employees without them having to learn, I'll say, or connect 3 to 4 different products like exist today. The next product is miPlata Bank, or miPlata Card. A big key for us is also just fully bilingual, if people want it in English or in Spanish. The other part is everything's driven by their phone number, so there's no remembering like passwords. We'll then get a confirmation code that I have since lost. So 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I am a very rich man with $24 in my account. I am able to go through and show, I was in New York last week, so I was able to use it on the subway. Again, a key thing for us is just making it very simple for us to be able to identify and find what's my account number, what's my routing number, especially for folks who have never had a bank account. The concept of knowing what this information or where to find it, we try to make it very obvious where this is. We issue them a virtual and a physical card. So I'm able to add it to my Apple Wallet for me to be able to pay, or Google Pay or Samsung Pay, whatever they need. All the controls that you'd expect from a safety perspective, being able to block the card, lock my card, change my PIN, all of those things. I would show you the card number, but this is public and I think being filmed, so I will not do that. And then when I need to actually send funds, I can go through. Again, we'll use Loreto as an example. And I'm able to send it. So we partner with Via Americas as our remittance partner today. This is something that we're excited to work with kind of Interledger to actually help us offer kind of Interledger as a way to be able to send these funds. I have Loreto as like an existing contact. I'm able to go through, select it as a bank deposit. I will send $20 since that's most of what I have. Again, we're able to show them the exact fees, everything associated with it. Sorry. We then select the bank. Hopefully it's going. We confirm one more time. Again, try to make it very obvious what's happening. Biometric check to confirm that we actually want to send this. And then in a few minutes, Loreto can confirm whether or not she actually received the money. But we've initiated the transaction at this point. And so now Loreto's actually receiving the funds that they'd expect. So yeah, that's the demo of the product. Okay. So it's great, showed you the product. It works, so Loreto can confirm in a few minutes. But the next part is like, what does this actually mean for employers? Why am I incentivized to actually do this? We understand for a lot of this adoption, incentive alignment is really key, especially if I'm having to make a decision as to move away from something that's been tried and true versus some new sort of technology. So for employers, what we found is we're actually saving them about $300 a month per employee. So what does that mean? It means with better time tracking, I'm no longer saying Miguel worked exactly 10 hours. Maybe Miguel worked 10 hours and 15 minutes. Maybe Miguel worked 9 hours and 45 minutes. But through this more accurate timekeeping, we're able to reduce the overall payroll cost for these employers. We're also saving them per physical check. So it's about $3.15 just in being able to actually print these checks. We know that there's a way for us to make that direct deposit, which is significantly cheaper. And then something that a lot of people don't talk about, but there is a productivity gain when your employees have more money available to them. And so PwC put out a report that they estimate about like a 1.7 hours of like lost productivity time per employee just due to the stress and management of financial burdens. And then from a from a bookkeeper perspective, we're saving them about 90%, which they're very happy with. Instead of having to manually enter and confirm these things, we've effectively streamlined that entire process for them. And then for the card product, we've found our fees are about 70% cheaper than an in-person alternative. This is actually going to increase. The US just passed a bill earlier this summer where there's going to be an incremental 1% remittance tax. So every time you come in and pay with cash or with a money order or with a prepaid card, there's going to be an incremental 1% fee that goes to the US government. Through our platform, we're actually able to, I guess, through like the legal exceptions, we're able to provide that without the fee. We've also eliminated check cashing fees, and again, we've saved almost 100% of the time in terms of what it takes to actually go do these things. And so what can you all do for us? This is maybe the last call to action. Follow us on LinkedIn. I tried the link this morning. It should work. So follow us. But more than that, we are looking to partner with employers. So if you know individuals in the US that hire large immigrant workforces, we'd love to meet and love to talk to them and see how we might be able to help. But yeah, excited. Thank you very much for the time.
Gracias, Miguel. Eso es todo que puedo hablar en español. No. Thank you so much, Miguel. Yeah, we invited the next speaker to prepare. As for the others, as we are running a bit late, we're not going to take questions right now, but you're going to find Miguel around the venue all day, hopefully. And I'm just a bit disappointed because everyone last year was testing with my test account and I was getting money for coffee. And now Miguel was like, no, let me show my wallet. And there goes my coffee, I guess. Yeah, I think we were just sending money to each other for coffees when we were testing each product. It's good to have such power and such fasting. And till now we mentioned the grantees as our partners or implementers of different parts of our ecosystem. We are switching to another role that we have here at Interledger Foundation, and it's another type of grant that we offer. If you're curious more about our grants, interledger.org, and on top on the header there is the button for grants, and we have 3 types of grants: ambassadorship, educational, which targets university, and financial services. Till now we were implementers of financial services. Now that the internet works, it seems that the remote doesn't work, so why not? Oh, we are ready. So yes, our next speaker, Gavin, is one of the ambassadors that's just ended his cohort, but I'll let him share more on that now. Welcome, Gavin.
Hi everyone, my name's Gavin, and I'm one of the ambassadors, and amongst many things that I do, I'm also a science fiction author. These are my first two novels, published 2015, 2016. I write African science fiction dealing with migration, climate change, and founding mythologies. And the problem with being a writer of a relatively niche story is that the entire publishing industry, and these are formally published, these were picked up by Penguin, published through their Black Swan imprint globally, their entire publishing strategy for online can be summarized in 4 words. Put it on Amazon. That's it. That is the entire publishing strategy for every publishing company in the whole world, okay? It's not a particularly interesting strategy, and it hasn't been a particularly good one for at least the last 10 years. The reason is very simple. The internet, as we knew it when it started, doesn't really exist anymore. Discovery is broken. Search engines no longer work because search engine optimization is now a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We have had, for at least 10 years, chum manufacturing of books. Millions of books are published a day on Amazon. And Amazon doesn't care, does no moderation, because it doesn't matter. Every book that's sold, 30% straight to Amazon. AI has made this infinitely worse by allowing an almost infinite amount of books to be generated on a daily basis. So as an author trying to be discovered, trying to be read, put it on Amazon is a disastrous strategy. So, I had figured it out, and now it's not working again. Oh, I think I've got to point it at this. Huh? Yeah. It's, oh, there we go. It's fine. There we go. Okay. Oops. So, when we start talking about what I want to do conceptually, okay, we need to think about how we might break this down. The reason any company makes massive profits, okay, when you're making 30, 40, 50% gross margin, you're not doing something, okay? A mature industry, subject to regulation, doesn't really make more than 5%. Your average retailer is making 3%. Your high-end luxury goods manufacturers are all in trouble right now. They're only making like 1-2% margin, even on hugely expensive products, okay? The reason you can make so much money as Amazon, as Facebook, as eBay, is because you are not doing moderation. You're not spending the money. If you've got 2 billion users, you should have tens of millions of moderators. If you don't have them, you're not paying those salaries, and then you end up with the chum that we suffer with. Moderation isn't a cost or a feature, okay? It is critical for the internet to work, and it currently isn't. Our experience of it is not enjoyable. Where that is changing is through federated websites, okay? So where we're seeing growth and change in new services in things like Blue Sky, in things like Mastodon, in things like Pleroma, the reason is because we have moved moderation back to communities, and interoperability, which relies on specific schemas and published protocols allows individuals to moderate very rapidly. Okay? It cools the tea, if you like. So what we want, okay, building a web shop is really easy. Anyone can build a web shop in a morning. You can use Stripe, you can use PayPal, and you can download, you can payments to Drupal, to WordPress, and you can be selling stuff within a morning, okay? Your problem is no one's going to find you. No one's going to know you exist, which is one of the reasons we see so much desperation when you arrive at a website, okay? Please join our mailing list. Because this might be the last possible opportunity I have to ever see another human being on this website again today. Please, okay? On the other hand, wouldn't it be better if your existing social media feed, if you had particular products that you regularly buy or things that you're regularly interested in? So for me, it's coffee, okay? There are certain roasters that I follow, that I'm interested in, and where I would love to know when they have something new. But I have to remember to visit their website. But I am checking my social media feed because I, want to see what cats look like in case I've forgotten since yesterday. And so it would be great if I could see it in my feed, okay? In this case, this is where I live in the internet. It's a curated feed, I manage it, I manage my exposure to the world, okay? I see largely what I want to see. Going into search, remembering websites, dealing with, please sign up, please do this, please click here, the 150 things to remember, visit a newspaper, it's your choice. Well, thanks. Why did you keep telling me even though I rejected it 10 minutes ago? So the project that I'm building, okay, starts with a simple premise. Go where the tea is being made. Do not build a new standalone website that requires the buy-in of Google and my full-time commitment to social media optimization and search engine optimization to be found, and then begging people to sign up to a mailing list that they don't want, okay? All to sell a thing. Or sign up for one of the monopolies and part with 30, 40, 50, 60% of my work in exchange for not a great user experience. So federation and interoperability. If you're building a web shop, that's the first principle, okay? Go where the tea is being made. Be easily discoverable in other people's search feeds. Allow a follow button. No more than that. Opt in, opt out. Follow, unfollow. One button. Moderation must be core to the interface, must be core to the experience. If I report, if I don't like, if I feel that it's hostile, I should be able to block, and I never want to see it again. Open payments to keep the costs as low as possible. And also, for our creative community that live in that part of the world that eBay doesn't serve, that Amazon refuses to allow you to sell, that Kickstarter won't let you start a funding campaign. They should be able to use the currency that they're familiar with. Mobile money, whatever, M-Pesa that you are used to using. And we need to accept that on the wild web, search and discovery is broken. Okay, that there is nothing there to help a freelance creator. We also need to recognize, though, that the average freelance creator just wants to make and sell things. They don't want to become responsible for an entire stack of software. So we start with ActivityPub. And this is live. This is as good as the demonstration is going to be. I did not trust the internet. Okay, so this is taken from the interface, and I'm moving towards telling you what this is, okay? So this is essentially a standard product page. The way this is built is to use ActivityPub. ActivityPub is essentially just a set of definitions for how to interact between different websites sharing the same protocol. The implementation at the moment is all social media, okay? There's social media around competitors to Instagram. Loops is an alternative to TikTok. There's Reddit alternatives. There's a whole bunch of these different alternatives all built out of the stack, but they're largely all social media based. What I'm doing is overriding or overloading the existing framework. ActivityPub has the concept of people or persons actors and service actors, group actors, and so on. A person is a person, a human, a creator. A service is a product. So when an actor is a service on this stack, it's a product, okay? Announcements, posts, social media posts is this product is available today. This is the price. This week, 50% off. Okay? That type of post announcement. And essentially, it's just a page using the standard schema structure, data structure that is available within ActivityPub. Using the linked data model. The one thing I built in that the previous speaker mentioned that's really important is localization or internationalization, okay? So local language support. And in my case, I refer to it in two parts. There's the static internationalization, which is the boilerplate text that's on the website, okay? That's the stuff that you hit the button and all the text changes instantaneously. But there's a second aspect to internationalization that is not regularly supported on websites. And that's dynamic internationalization. If you want to create a product on Amazon in multiple languages, you go to multiple websites, okay? You have to recreate the whole product on multiple websites to be able to support a multi-language market. In this product, you change the language in the same product and you rewrite the text, okay? So there's one product ID, multiple text that you can reflect or present to people. If you want to present things in a slightly different way in different languages, using more jargon or more vernacular, go for it, okay? So right from the beginning, the stack supports this internationalization both dynamically and statically. Statically is the service provider, the actual person who operates the stack, the community that may manage it. The dynamic is for the individual creator to manage their own presentation of how they want to talk to people. And localization in this level is about the money. So we have an IP address pickup for your country, which then will allow local currency to be reflected. Okay. So everywhere in the stack, the idea is to give tools to the people who are using it to be as close to the local community that they're targeting as possible from the very beginning. Okay. And then open payments. So this is what it currently looks like. In this case, what you've seen mostly today has been the financial service providers themselves. So what does it look like for a financial service provider to manage a payment flow through a network, to manage their KYC, to manage everything? But when you're a vendor, when you're a seller, that stuff is taken care of by your bank, okay? You've already complied. All you really want to do now is buy and sell, okay? When you go onto a website currently with a credit card, it's essentially type in your credit card number, hit a button, sale is concluded. All those other steps, which are really hard, you don't even see. You're completely unaware of, okay? So in this case, it's real simple. Add in your wallet, decide what you want to buy, hit the button, approve the transaction, come back and download it, okay? In our case, we also automatically in the stack have two-factor authentication. So everything here can be two-factor authenticated from the get-go. I also built magic logins so that people can use email addresses only and not worry about remembering passwords. So this is Hop Sauna. Hop Sauna is not a complete product, okay? It is a technical stack for software developers who want to create unique products. It does all of the boilerplate that you need in any marketplace. It does authentication of users. It does user management, okay? It has ActivityPub, so it means that you are creating social connected entities. The moment this site goes live, it starts being pinged by actors all across the Mastodon and ActivityPub networks, okay? So it's immediately available to use. You can search for users. This is my actual Wandering Shop webpage with my feed reflected in Hop Sauna. Okay, so I can see my own feed if I want to. Whether you as a developer might decide to implement that, I am torn whether you want to be a full media website. Okay. But essentially, you know, you can go in there, you can change, you can edit. There's the language change drop down. I'm just doing English and French at the moment, but there's no limit to the number of languages you can decide. And I can manually change the text. So instead of using Google Translate button in Chrome, you can physically see the language as it was intended rather than that it was dynamically translated by a machine. So that's kind of playing well with others, okay? Everything is done except the product itself, okay? What can you do with ActivityPub? Pretty much anything. At the moment, ActivityPub's protocol is mostly used for social media, but the schema permits a lot of additional metadata to be assembled. Location data, time-sensitive data. So you could use this, as one example, as a replacement for Booking.com, where hotels, bed and breakfasts can list their own offerings, their rooms, and you can book a room, okay, directly through the process. There's you know, from a technical perspective, there's no reason ActivityPub couldn't do this. You simply create a hotel as an actor and individual rooms as products. You've now got a full control of your stock. Dates and times can be booked off, and you can control it through the back end. People can pay directly, and you could, because again, it's an interactive interface with messages and sending announcements baked in, I can send a message to the hotel and say, hi, can you please arrange someone to pick me up from the airport? And when I arrive and check my feed, I can see that my driver is waiting for me, okay? I would love to see even better than that, though, is someone doing Uber. Instead of seeing messages one by one, okay, you can actually take a location point, pick it up from the phone directly into the app as a message. Each message then, instead of being a sequence of posts, you could update a map with a journey. Now you can have a group of drivers working together, managing their own community of drivers. And when I'm living in Marseille and I'm wanting an Uber to the station, I can simply connect to the drivers I already know, and I know they're being paid directly. And they're managing their own time, and they're managing new drivers into their network. And then when I come here, it's the same software, but a different connection, a different community of drivers managing their own software. Okay. This way of thinking, this idea of distributed, federated, and connected at the same time can give power back to communities, take it away from the centralized platforms. I mean, just think about how weird it is. Anywhere I go in the world, there's one shop where I buy my taxis. It's just madness. How can there be one shop? So this is one part of it. What I'm intending to do is I'm going to, the stack, once we're fully done, I am going to be building an alternative to the Kindle ebook store, where I will be publishing my next novel. Okay, so my whole novel is going to be published there. You'll be able to download it and read it directly in the app. And at the same time, it'll be a social media experience. So, last slide. The stack itself is available now. It's on Codeberg, Hop Sauna. You can email me. It's written in Python on the back end, using Fast API as the web framework. It uses Nuxt, Vue, TypeScript on the front end. There's a Postgres database, Celery for asynchronous, Redis, all these types of things. It's in Docker, which means you can deploy it in 10 minutes. There's a lot of documentation, but a lot more documentation is needed, which brings us, and HTTPS is built in because of traffic. So, stuff I need, code review. If anybody wants to come in and help me develop more features, more internationalization, more languages, UX UI, I'm terrible at UX UI, so if anybody says to me, Gavin, your designs are awful, please can I help you? This needs to be taken out and shot. I'm perfectly happy to hear that. And I need unicorn hunters, people who want to kill Uber, people who want to kill Amazon, people who want to kill eBay, Kickstarter. Hunt these unicorns, murder them, take their stuff and distribute it to the people. And finally, if anybody wants to help fund this process over the next year as we build more stuff, please help. So thank you, and I'm around for the next few days, and I'll be at the hackathon as well.
on the web platform, but a bit different. And I want to show you a bit the registration part. We try to make it a bit more compact, more mobile friendly, let's say, and trying this with one hand, so bear with me if you see some typos here. So yeah, you just need to enter some basic data. Thank you very much. And add your email, of course. And, the ending is long here. Okay, and one more thing here that we did automatically because we use the mobile. The application actually takes your locale and sets your country and your phone number entry. Of course, you can edit this, you can open it and change it at any time, but yeah, seems something really fun to see. And let's hope I can remember this phone. It's not mine, because mine is already registered, and the phone number needs to be unique. Okay, and by unique, as you can see here, we get a validation that you need to confirm your phone number, and let's try to do this, hopefully. Yes, it took it, it was correct, so success. Now on the password screen, as you can see, of course, password and repeat password, everybody hates it, but we need to do it. And some password requirements that you need to do. These are just the basic ones at the moment. And as you can see, as you type, and I think I typed it wrong. Yeah, and you need to repeat it, of course. And it doesn't match. Now it does. Okay, so beside the requirements, that the validation that we do on the front end, there are some additional ones in the back end. For example, if your password appeared in a leak, we try to check it and let you know. And this is the fun part that we discussed, the TOTP. So at the moment, please don't register it, because I need it right now. Okay, so I set it up on the phone. You can either scan the QR or enter the code, and then just confirm it. Not working. Perfect. Let's try this again. So now it worked. And we are in the app. The user is registered, and of course you are greeted with a screen where you need to choose your wallet address. At this point, whatever you choose, so just add something, this will be reserved for you, and you can actually use it after submit. Yeah, and you can use it after you complete your KYC. You are currently, right now, locked out of the app. You will see this everywhere. You can start your KYC. I won't bother you with this because it's pretty long at the moment. And I will try to show you, of course, a random person's account that may or may not have been used before, to show you how an actual account looks with data and transactions and everything. So again, security reasons, you need to enter your TOTP code, as you saw also on the web part. We confirm it, and then we are greeted with the home screen. And you can see Raul has sent the random person some money. And you can see the transactions. In the top part, you will see your wallet address. This is unique for you. You have the actions for add money, send money, or withdraw money from your account. Your account with your balance. And we also added a different feature. We have a QR, and this QR contains the actual wallet address. So feel free to send any tips if you want and enjoy this talk. And of course, the most recent transactions that happened. And we can go, of course, into seeing all the transactions. That's the wrong one. You can see here is a list of all the transactions that happened on your account, dated. I won't show you everything because there might be different parts. And then the cards. So cards are supported, of course, also on mobile. As you can see, there are some minimal information here. This is a physical card, another physical card, and a virtual card. As you can see on the virtual card, you don't have any PIN because you will never need it. And I'm sorry to the random person because I have to do this. Just to see a bit what's behind. So these are the details of the card. And hide it fast. Please don't copy it. We will block it soon, so don't worry. And thank you. And an interesting part here for security reasons, we don't keep any information on the phone. So once we get the data of the card, the sensitive data that you see on the back, once you flip it back to the original view, everything is deleted, so nothing is stored at the moment. Yeah, and of course also the ordering cards. We have it's kind of the same. So you go pick a virtual, pick the beautiful design that we have at the moment. You get a confirmation screen where you can see all the details you have entered, and in the end, just order it, and it will appear as the next one. Yeah, so this is Wallet on mobile. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we talked about cards, but do we want to see a card transaction as a bit of a teaser for the next presentation? Okay, so random Radu person, can you please give me your card? Tadej? Oh. Can you please charge me €0.50? Can you put the mobile app up and in the transactions? Okay. Oh no, don't do it. You don't want to know what number was there. Yeah, it's just a second. It's in. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. So card transaction. Thank you, random person.
And no, keep it. We will block it. It's okay.
Okay, so we will share the QR codes where you can go to the website in the iOS app. These are open. Of course, the iOS app is in testing. If the wallet is not available in your region, you will be announced when the wallet will be. But please do sign up, and please, if you find anything, email us. We'll try to fix it as soon as possible. So, yeah,
one more mention. The iOS app is currently in a beta state, so this is exclusively for you. At the moment, we will release at a later date.
Any questions? Oh, okay. Microphone.
We are sharing the mic, and also we are going to use the microphone for questions because we want the people online to hear the questions. Where am I going? I need some steps, so I'm fine to walk around. Tell me, what are the questions? People are taking photos. Oh, not of me. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I need to do one small thing for the photo op.
Okay, thanks. Very good demo, team. Kudos to you. I'm here. Nice. I have one question. This seems, well, it has a lot of characteristics from on-off ramp services. So my thoughts and question here is, does Interledger have these legal entities to provide these physical or virtual cards? So, for example, the use case is based on Romania, right? With the random
on Europe.
Yeah. On Europe, okay. So what happens here in Mexico if I ask for a physical
So right now, I think you are able to register for Mexico temporarily, and you will get a Euro account. Mexico, I believe, is coming soon.
Okay.
So yeah.
That means the KYC is already contemplating that use case, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the other part is about development. On the technical specifications, it said that the wallet was, or on the future is going to be a node, I think.
At some point, yes.
Okay. What are the technical issues there? Because at least I'm a very technical Web3 person, and I like a lot of ecosystems. But at this point, there's no ecosystem that has a full node implemented in smartphones. So, because there are like clients, right? So, in this case, the roadmap for that, because it's going to be very powerful to have a full node.
I absolutely agree. I think we have about 6, to be honest, in the ecosystem. The Interledger Wallet is going to be an additional one. From a technical perspective, it's just a question of time and implementation and finding someone to pair with. We are planning to pair with GitHub and the Interledger cards at least, if not Shimani and others. So we're going to basically grow this network as much as possible.
Nice. And final question, sorry.
No worries.
About the development, right now, Kratos, it seems like it's based on Node.js for browsers. So right now, the native development for Android and iOS is on Kotlin and Swift, or is React Native?
It's Kotlin and it's native iOS and Android, so Kotlin and Swift, yes.
Thank you. And kudos, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, yes, I'm here.
About the KYC, is a specific KYC that you're using, or you are open to support any?
So for the
some sub or?
So for Europe behind the scenes, we use some sub, yes. So it's basically the GitHub KYC that we use. Yeah.
Thank you.
Where I'm going? ¿Dónde me voy? Ah, sí. No hay ningún problema. No worries. I'm doing my steps.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I think it was very enlightening. How do you guys plan to allow people to add money to the wallet?
So we use on-off ramping provided by our providers. So for Europe, we use Instant SEPA. For US, we will use ACH. So based on the region, we use different ways of ramping people into the wallet and off-ramping as well.
And what about using stable coins or crypto?
We don't plan to do that. So yeah.
ACH in the United States is terrible.
Well, we are going to improve that, but to get things running, we have to accept what we have. So
what about Green Dot? Or well, we all hate it, but
we'll look into it. I promise we will look into better solutions to give you a better experience.
¿Alguien más? Anyone else? Okay, I think you're good. Time is also not in our favor. So the guys will be around.
Thank you very much.
Just a quick admin thing. If you see you don't have seats available here in the second floor, there is we really call it overrunning room downstairs that live streams on the TV this session. So you have chairs, comfortable places, so you don't have to stand up here. And I promise, if you have questions from downstairs, I'm going to run down with the microphone. So I'm joking only. Okay. I think we need to invite our speaker to prepare himself. He's not sure he wants to present. It's fine. For those that have been to our last summit, the only thing that they mentioned is, it's fine. Nothing was working, but it's fine, it's fine. And yes, he became a meme on our Slack, of course. And because Raul was teasing us with the nice wallet at the beginning of the presentation, you will meet Timea, another engineer manager we have here at Interledger, at the door to give you one of those nice wallets. We are not playing games here. We really have a wallet ready for everybody. So even Sabine is surprised. Everyone was. Don't worry. But they are cute. Okay. I really like how Tadej keeps us, keep us on suspense here. It's fine? It's fine. It's fine. I think I need a volunteer to count how many times he will say it's fine during this talk. And I will donate my microphone to you. I need just to introduce you. So we saw the wallet. We saw some flashy things there like a card. And we also saw a person running with a phone acting as a POS. So I think that the most important talk to come next is what is Interledger Cards? What is this POS? How are we doing this thing? Etc. Tadej is still not convinced yet. Jason is more confident, I see. No. And they say the MC job is easy. Never easy. Almost there. What do we miss now? Okay, internet is working. How many engineers do you need to fix a presentation? All of them. I think there are plenty enough people there, they don't need me. One step closer, each question. A good reminder for the Open Payments Open Mic session, there is outside the flip chart. You can write your topic if you want to talk more about it, if you want another demo. I like the guy in the back from the technical, he's showing, no. I was like, for me? I don't think it's for me, I think it's for them. It's very hard to be here. And we can find till tomorrow someone that speaks. There will be only lightning talks there, or maybe you want to present a grant. I'm not gonna push pressure, but if you want to present how universities' grants are going, how students are working into innovation labs. Again, I'm not gonna put pressure, but I did match some eyes in the room. If you want to present more of that work related to the finance world and Interledger ecosystem, you can leave outside the post-it or write in them, or in Slack in the form adding a suggestion. At the end of the day, also, if you tell me, we'll be working out that too.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I don't know why, probably because this is the first summit that I didn't work through the whole night. So yeah, my name is Tadej. Here with me it's also Jason. And we'll present to you what we did for the last year. So let's have a little throwback on what we did last year. So we introduced basically a MasterCard card that had a payment pointer on it. So basically, somehow, we connected the Web3 with let's say, the real world, right? And it was very nice to see that people can earn money through the web monetization and then spend that money next minute in your favorite coffee shop, for example. We wanted to take it a little bit further, and we were thinking about the design, how the design of the new card should look like. And you know, the Interledger is all about those small packets of data streaming across the network, right? So we think that we found the perfect design for the Interledger card, and it looks like this. Looks nice, right? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm joking. It doesn't look like this, but yeah. So let's talk why we wanted to do something else. You know, if you're using MasterCard, the reach is enormous, basically. But the problem is that they are taking a lot of fees, right? And the fees are quite big for the merchants. So we decided that basically the question was, why would we want to use the MasterCard network if we have our own network, right? So we said that we'll create our own chip that will put it on a card. So that card, with that card, you will be able to pay on the POS, and then through the Rafiki and through the Interledger protocol, send it to the merchant. We will lower the fees. The reach will still not be quite high, but we also need to find some, let's say, POS manufacturer that will also do that for us. So this is the first point that I would like to talk about. The second one is opening payments to the world. So we want to reduce the cash payments and expand user reach, because we think if people are now accepting cash, that they will want to accept also the card payments, because it will be easier, and also for them, in terms of fees, they will not have a lot of fees. It's all about the account servicing entity, right? And then, we need to think about security, because we are doing cards. So we design a card, design a chip, so that we will seek the EMV license somewhere next year. So currently we support all of the EMV standards, basic standards, but we will use also for the contactless, right? But we'll also do implementation for the contact part for the cards. And that's pretty much it from my side. I will now give the stage to Jason to talk about the technical implementation of the Interledger cards.
Thank you, Tadej. Okay, so before we jump into, let's ease into the actual flow for the customer and the merchant with regards to card payments. So as Tadej mentioned, what we're following is very much what everyone should be familiar with. Typical card payment, a customer goes and picks up goods, they go to the merchant, and the merchant will present the POS device. So without the POS device, you won't have card payments. So basically, the flow is very much like Tadej said. EMV, the cardholder presents the card to the POS device, and then from there, customer Rafiki and also the card issuer, whereas the merchant ASE was the POS, the ASE in charge of the POS device, and then from there, all the way to the customer ASE, and then finally, an approved transaction. So that's the flow, which should be very familiar to everyone that does card payments. So next slide. Okay, so in the world of the ASEs, there's the responsibilities of the merchant ASE and the customer ASE. The first thing is then the POS device, right? So the POS onboarding will be all the responsibility of the ASE, as well as the key management. So in order to make the POS devices secure, we need to be able to load keys and all of those type of things. It is not managed within Rafiki. So it's all up to the ASE to manage their own POS onboarding and key management, even though the ILF and Rafiki facilitates that to a huge extent. And then, the rest of this payment flow should be very familiar to everyone, familiar with the ILP and Rafiki. Basically, the incoming payment is processed on the merchant Rafiki and the ASE, and then from there, the transaction is sent to the customer ASE. And again, on the other side of the POS is the card, and here we can see that the card personalization and issuance is up to the customer ASE. And this can obviously be the same entity. It doesn't need to be split, but then second last step here is the card signature, which is the cryptographic signature from the card. And then obviously the PIN verification, online PIN verification is also sent to the customer ASE. And then lastly, the processing of the outgoing payment is then finalized on the customer Rafiki and then reported back to the POS, the outcome of the transaction. Okay, and just to go into a little bit of detail of what changes were required for Rafiki in order to support this. So there's a brand new dedicated card service that we have in Rafiki now that supports card payments and new webhooks to support all of the necessary events, with obviously the ILP protocol built in. And there's flexibility on both ends. There's no limitations for the card or for the POS service. We made sure for the integration that the customer and the merchant ASC has got full flexibility. And then, the existing flows were reused for all of the integration, the EMV standards. So the customer experience is very much like everyone's used to in terms of the schemes with MasterCard and Visa and all of those. And then lastly, of course, it's open source. Sebastian, can I call you up to the stage?
So please also welcome Sebastian. Sebastian is the CEO of the KOS. That is the company that is behind the POS that provided us the POS devices. Thank you.
Thanks. So first, it's very nice to be here today. Thanks for the invitation. So I will quickly explain what we do at KOS. Actually, the company was created like 9 years ago, and the idea is to bring internet to people who cannot afford a smartphone. So we've done that for the past years. We connected 180 million people to internet in different markets around the world. And the project is based on Firefox, Gecko, and Mozilla. And we 2 years ago, actually, after COVID, we found that many of our users are merchants, usually in the informal economy, and we thought it would be good actually to transform this phone and to add the merchant capability in the device. So I think you will show the phone later, but we added NFC capability into the device with a manufacturer, with a POS manufacturer. We added all the security needed, and we are doing the PCI MPOC certification for, let's say, the open loop card, and the team is integrating the ILP capability as well. So I will stop that there, probably, but this is KOS, just so you have the background. The mission of the company is digital and financial inclusion today.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Yes, and then just to add to what Sebastian was saying, we then took that device and built our very own app on top of it, and making use of all of the NFC capabilities and making sure that we can send transactions securely from the POS device all the way through the merchant ASE and then finally the customer ASE.
And now we have a demo, right?
That's right.
Okay, we have a demo, so I would like to welcome to the stage also Benjamin. We call him Benny. I needed to think about a little bit about that. So yeah, he will tell us about a little bit about the communication between the card and the POS, and then we'll dive into the actual demo.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so as you already understood, we are leveraging the NFC capabilities of the KOS devices in order to communicate with the card. And on top of this transport layer, we are sending APDU commands, which should be EMV compliant, and I'll just briefly walk through them. The first one is the select AID. This command is used in order to select the application from the chip, because the chip can have multiple applications. And then the second command that we do is get processing options, which returns the AIP, which stands for Application Interchange Profile, and the AFL, so Application File Locator, which we later use in the read record command in order to retrieve the payment pointer of the cardholder. Now, after we have the payment pointer, we can generate the application cryptogram, basically having the card sign our transaction. And after this point, the card communication is over, and we have all the information necessary to reach out to the new Rafiki POS service in order to initiate the transaction. So I will now welcome to the stage my two colleagues, Adi and Cosmin, to do a live demonstration. I need to wait for Tadej to film it, I think.
Next challenge.
Of course it's a challenge. If it wouldn't be a challenge, we wouldn't work on it, so. Yeah. It's fine, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, it will work, it's fine. Okay. Okay, so I'll just mirror my phone so that you will be able to see what's going on behind the screen. So, yeah, Benny, I'll give you my phone and you can... Yeah?
My hands are shaky though. With this?
Just hold them the mic, hold them the mic.
Can you see it? Can we see it? Yeah.
So now they're entering
okay.
yeah, now they're entering the amount for the card transaction. And
Okay.
now we need to wait for a card to be present.
So yes, we can see here now the amount was entered for the goods, and then Cosman is now presenting the card to the POS device.
And the transaction went through.
And voila. So in that very short time, the whole flow that...
just to show you that this wasn't like a static screen, right? Let's check into my Interledger wallet. The production play one, and let's see the transactions. It was for 11. You did 11? It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, this transaction was completed to Dragos because, why to Dragos? Because the POS is tied to his wallet address. So yeah, wow. Wow. Where is Dragos? Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we're not done there. We have our challenges set out for next year and the years after. So basically next year we're going to be working on a new card design, as well as certifying the C8 kernel, the EMV kernel, also certifying the actual card, the chip, and then further on from there, there will be broader integrations into other ASEs, which watch the space.
And the last slide, Q&A. So if you have any question, I will leave the mic to Joanna.
Where I'm running with the mic. Oh. Alex, is the CTO allowed to ask questions?
Yes, he's allowed to have questions.
So I think I have a simple question. Well, I have a two-part question. One, out of all the POS devices that we have, why did we choose the demo device, not the real device? But no, I'm joking. But if I really wanted to play with this, if I wanted to make payments, how can I make payments today?
Okay, so why we choose that device? We forgot to charge the new ones. Yeah, so that is why we use the old device. The new devices are also Interledger branded, so you'll see also the Interledger logo on the top. It has a little bit bigger screen, much nicer keyboard, and it's amazing, really amazing device.
Can they find it with you tomorrow to see it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think that there are some devices, but yeah.
I'm told that it's here. This tech of no. I'm very confused. I'm just an MC, people.
No. I was gonna say Tadej doesn't know this, but because he did such a good job on the demo, he works extra tonight. So later in the evening, in downstairs, you'll see a bunch of community people showcasing what they do, and you'll see Tadej with the new POS devices showing you all.
And I have it in my hand.
How a charge device works.
How a charge? Oh, it's charged now. Now it's charged. Yeah.
Many things can go wrong in a presentation. Charging phones is one of them. Yes, I'm going to...
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Thank you. Hi. That was an amazing demo. We're really excited at Chimoni, and I'm curious when it will be ready for other ASCs to add card support to their Interledger-enabled apps.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that is probably the question for the Rafiki team, right? Right now. So yeah. So basically what Rafiki team did, they created 2 new services. So previous we had just Rafiki out, Rafiki backend, and the optional Rafiki frontend. From now on, there will be 2 more optional services. One is card service, and the other one is point of sale. So if you would like to integrate these type of cards, you will need to implement those services. And you know, we will also update the documentation, stuff like that. But the funny thing is that in order to support these cards, we decided that we will open source the chip. So what that means is that you will need to find a manufacturer, so for example for Chimani, somewhere in Canada, that will put a chip on the card and they will create a card for you. So basically you will be your own issuer of the Interledger card.
I need more steps, people, where I'm running. Oh, okay.
Is the card able to pay with NFC in any POS terminal, right?
Okay, so how the communication between a card and POS works, you need to have a kernel in the POS device, right? So you have, from the EMV specs, you have kernel from C8 up to, C1 from up to C8. So for example, MasterCard is on C2, I think, Visa on C3 and stuff like that. We decided that we'll go with C8. Why? Because the C8 was created by the EMV. And the problem at this moment is basically that not a lot of POS devices support the C8 because that is very new, I think like 3 years old, something like that. There are already some POS devices in the world that we know of that supports the C8. I think one is from PAX, A920 Max, something like that. Okay. But first we will go with the KOS. We partnered with them because if you think about it, the PAX terminal costs around $200. And yeah, well, you know, not a smart investment, to be perfectly honest, right? And to have such a great devices like the KOS POS devices for very affordable price, I think that that is basically a win for the merchants.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye.
Just one last thing on that. So another big thing is that the C8 kernel will also be open sourced. So all of the manufacturers will be able to get hold of that kernel easily, which is not something that's very, very common. So hopefully that should drive adoption.
Yeah, that's
heavily.
great.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe nobody will like us because of that, right? Because we'll be open sourcing the kernels.
Thank you.
Perhaps a dumb question. Does your solution think about offline payment?
Oh, is that a question?
Yeah. I see.
Oh, okay. So we thought about the offline payments. Currently, we are supporting just the contactless. So if you are supporting contactless, you cannot support offline PIN. That means offline authentication is out of the table. We'll think about the offline payments after we have also the contact part ready for the card.
Thank you.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's fine.
It was very fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Disclaimer for everyone, please charge your devices because you might need them. I think this is the lesson learned this. So guess what? We are going to have a surprise now. You didn't expect this one, huh? You think I'm only joking around? I'm one of the next speakers. No, it's okay. So yeah, we are gonna set it up very fast. Can you keep this a sec? Sure. Yes. So yes, besides the amazing jokes that I have here and the extremely well managed booth that we have here at the demo lab. Why was I smiling? This is a job. I also do have a job here at Interledger. I'm an engineer manager, and I help the web monetization team, community, and DevRel. In the web monetization team, I am helped by the amazing Rabeb Odmani, which is our product lead. And together with her today, we're going to present to the state all about web monetization since last year till now. We're going to start with her. I'm going to be at the key, but after that, we prepare for some demo.
Hello. Hola.
Woo-hoo.
I'm wearing heels. I might fall because there are like holes. You have my permission to take videos and have a good laugh. That's absolutely fine.
This is how we add drama, you know? Like,
yeah, the drama. Last session before we all convene downstairs, so hopefully no one is too sleepy. Okay, right. So apparently they do record these sessions, so I have to be here and be accountable for what I promised last year. So that's what we are doing. I see a lot of familiar faces. The next few slides, you know them, but just to make sure that the new web monetization friends are on board with us, so I'm going to do a little bit of context and what we are working on. Okay? Oh, you did that? No. Thank you. All righty. Obviously, there is only one single problem with the web. Everything else is perfect, right? So at Interledger, we love solving problems. We genuinely do. We love using our technologies to try to make, things better for different people around the world. And as much content as there is these days, you have all the content creators, all the podcasters. How many podcasters we have in the room? See, we have at least one. All the bloggers. The web is still not particularly an ideal place for both publishers and end users. I will be using publishers to refer to anyone who owns content online. But just to make things easy for myself, I'll be using publishers. So I'm sure we've all gone through this experience when we are trying just to, read a news article, and we are inundated with so many ads. It's visually so cluttered, and there is something flying on this side, and someone is selling you flowers and the car or something, and it's just a terrible experience. And that's the good case, because sometimes the content is completely gated behind a paywall, so you can't even read what you want unless you're willing to pay. And not everyone is willing or can pay, actually. So this is also something to keep on mind. This experience is also not ideal for publishers because, one, they want to offer a good experience for their users. No one wants their users to be frustrated and potentially leaving. If I see a paywall, I'm probably just going to leave without, paying or seeing that content. And the other thing to keep in mind as well, this only works if you have a big audience, potentially geographically in certain countries in the world. So if you are a small publisher, even this wouldn't work to monetize your content. So overall, this is not a good experience for both publishers and their end users. So what if? What if we end up with something where it's visually pleasing? Maybe I'll see one ad or two. I can read the content I want to read in peace. And also, the lovely publisher who put that lovely content that I'm enjoying can make some money. And this is where web monetization comes into play. This is exactly what we are trying to achieve with web monetization. So, with web monetization, we want to connect publishers to their audiences, to make these meaningful connections where I'm enjoying the content and I'm willing and happy and empowered to support the publisher on my own terms and appreciate that content more because it's a very intentional experience. I'm liking this and I'm going to give you some money for your effort to show my appreciation. On the other hand, the publisher, they are making some money. This is by no means a replacement for ads or for the paywalls. We don't pretend we are the ideal solution that would take over. This is a complementary payment solution. So, you still can have ads on your website and web monetization. But instead of having 1 million ads, maybe just have 1 or 2, and you'd still be able to monetize that content. So in more technical terms, the Web Monetization API, basically what it does, it would allow web pages to receive payments from web monetized visitors. And we are trying to make the experience as smooth and easy as possible, minimum interactions, maybe one-time setup, and then it all works perfectly. So this is web monetization in a nutshell, in brief minutes, because that's the time we have. So let's see what we've been up to in the last year, since last summit. The first thing we've been working on is the web monetization website. I'm happy to announce that web monetization now has a new home. Well, it's a renovated home, really. And the reason for that work, it's not just like we felt like we needed some, new shiny colors on the screen. It's to reflect the progress we've made with web monetization as a product. The product has matured, and it was time for us to reflect that on the website. So yes, it is a completely new look, new modern design, but also the biggest focus here is to make sure that any of you, whether you are a developer, you are a publisher, you are one of our partners today, if you go to webmonetization.org, you would be able to understand what web monetization is and have enough guidance to do what you need to do. Where can I find the tools that are useful for me, the technology, etc. So that's what we try to achieve with the website. You are the first people to see it, so please let us know what you think. Feedback is always, always welcome. So please let us know what you think about this. Now, last year I showed you an earlier version of the extension. So for an end user to be able to use web monetization to support a website, they would have to use, at least for now, a browser extension. Since then, we've been working on the extension. Obviously, there is no software without bugs, so we've been fixing all the bugs, improving the UX and UI. It looks almost completely different since a year ago. Which is sometimes annoying because we have to go throughout all the documentation and changing the screenshots because they are no longer relevant to us. We want to be where our users are, so we always work on expanding support. The extension is available on web stores. It's available on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and as of today, I'm happy to announce it's also available on Safari.
Confetti for everyone. Confetti.
Yeah, confetti. We still have plans to, go further. Other browsers, mobile browsers. So if you have a browser on mind, GitHub, please go there and leave us a request. Say this is what I want, and we will work on it. Other than the extension, obviously, what's web monetization without publishers? So they are a big part of what we do. We've been working on a set of tools for publishers. Some of these tools are old, some of them are brand new. So it's new tools, improved tools, and part of the work we did on the website is also revamping the part for the tools, because the tools, they live on the webmonetization.org. Again, hopefully to make it easy to find them, understand what they do, and easy to onboard as well. So give them a go.